What's up, guys? Chip and Eric back again, 17.3 for your first look. Okay, we're gonna try to keep this even quicker than last time, all right? So, 17.3, pull season. Pull season. Very proper name. Okay, at 3, 2, 1, go. You have 8 minutes to do 3 rounds of 6 chest to bar and 6 snatch. Starts very light, then goes up a little bit heavier. 3 more rounds, 7 chest to bar, 5 snatch. So obviously they're starting at 6-6 and going up to 7-5 and down, or up and down to 7-5. Okay. It will continue to climb and descend by 1 rep every 4 minutes. The exception to the 4-minute rule is the first 8 minutes. Okay, you guys are probably familiar with that, so we're going to talk about some other things you might not have noticed so far. So we're going to take a picture of this for you guys to all look at, so you can zoom in. And what you're going to see right here, the weights are on the right, but through here is the volume. And this is really cool because what that's going to allow you to do is figure out what chest to bar volume you're used to and what snatch volume and loads you're used to, okay? The reason that's going to be useful is you're going to be able to develop your game plan accordingly, okay? It all revolves around what your bottleneck is for this workout, and Eric's going to discuss a little bit what we mean by the bottleneck.
Yeah, so obviously there's a lot of volume for chest to bar, and the weights get extremely heavy for most people for the snatches. So we wrote down the totals. It's 153 chest to bar pull-ups and 63 total snatches. So bottleneck for most people is going to be weight first. All right, so you'll get through, you'll manage your chest to bar, but you're going to hit a point where there's a hard stop. There's just a weight that's above your 1 rep max, and that's where you're going to end. On top of that, like Chip was saying, you're going to want to look at these rep totals, because chest to bar is obviously a lot more taxing than a regular chin over bar pull-up. So you're going to want to look at that as a bottleneck as well. So how much volume do you think you can handle in these time domains? And you're going to want to use that as a way to strategize, kind of work your way backwards, develop a strategy as far as your sets. So even from the very start, you might want to break them up into quick sets of 2, maybe a couple sets of 3, and stay in small sets for as long as possible. What you're going to find is that in this first 8 minutes, you have over 6 seconds per rep to make it through in 8 minutes. Now that's not going to give you much time. That's only going to give you 4 minutes to finish the next 3 rounds. But you'll know at least you're going to make it to that 185, 135 snatch round. There's a couple other things you're going to want to make sure you're prepping. You're going to want to make sure you're prepping your lats and your thoracic. And so what I mean by that is the ability to get mobile in your upper back. That's not going to only just help you in your snatch position at the bottom, but it's going to help you achieve a good arch position in your kip, whether you're doing a butterfly or just a regular kip. A nice ability to get in that arch position is going to allow you to generate a lot of power. So if you're missing that extension when you drop from your pull-up, you're going to have to generate a lot more force from scratch. A couple other things, ankles and hips. Obviously, being mobile in your ankles and hips is going to help you get and achieve that below parallel snatch. Hand care, don't rip. So whether that means using those jaws grips, using taping up, using any form of glove even might actually help. But if you know that you're going to get pretty far and you tend to rip, then make sure you prepare for that, because any hand tears are going to pretty much stop you in your tracks. A couple other things before we finish up. This is a workout that has a lot of high skill, so you're going to want to groove those skills. So spend a lot of time. Do not be afraid of taxing yourself. This is a long workout, so make sure you don't worry about taxing too much. Spend a lot of time drilling your kip technique, drilling your snatches, use a barbell a bunch. Like Chip was saying before, once you've identified that bottleneck weight, then a good idea is to, depending on how strong you are and how relative your percentages are to your real max, you might think about working up to about 85%. If you have a very true max, meaning you've been lifting for a long time and your max really is your max, then 85% is probably too heavy. But if you're fairly new to CrossFit, you know you're probably stronger than what your Olympic lifts portray, then 85% is not going to tax you at all, and I would recommend doing a few singles there to really make sure that you're primed and ready for when you get there in the workout.
Thanks, Eric. Really well done. Quick recap. You want to set a goal. What you want to do to set a goal is you want to use this chart that we made, or these data points we've given you. You want to look at the chest to bar and the weightlifting and compare and contrast what is going to be the weakness. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at this and you're going to go right here and you're going to say, okay, at 63 chest to bar, how does a snatch feel at 225? Okay, if either the chest to bar is a bigger concern or the snatch is a bigger concern, and you make your game plan accordingly. For most people, like Eric said, it's going to be a snatch deal. Fortunately, that's the price of admission. We all know what our maxes are, and we know what type of workout that this is going to be. Like Eric said, you're using your full body for both these movements. It's an open chain for the pull-ups, closed chain for the snatch. So you need to generate power from your upper body and from your lower body all workout long. So you need to make sure that you're warming up for a long time with the barbell to make sure that you've really greased that groove and you're moving very well as feeling very efficient and fluid on the kip. And that covers goal setting and preparation. Let's do it, guys.
Let's do it. I'm excited to see some PRs tomorrow.
Oh yeah, baby.